Hello, friends and followers. Well, it's back to the Central Electronics 100V transmitter, which is on its back because it needs work, obviously. It always needs work. But anyway, so today I'm futzing again, trying to make the high voltage work for the final amplifier tubes. And so here is Electronics Theory Power Supply 101 course for you. Here we got a diode bridge clipped in, and I'm coming off this transformer on the high voltage secondaries on the center tap, which gives me about 420 volts AC. So the full secondary across the secondaries is 420 center tap times 2, which is 840 volts. Obviously 840 volts is way over what I need for 600 volts DC. So these finals, I suppose, want about 600 volts DC. So, well, I'm getting close. So I'm getting about 570 volts DC now, which puts me in the ballpark of reality. I'm sure with a load on this thing, it's going to go down, but you know what? That is close enough. So what's happening here? So it's pretty easy. I'm just using the center tap on the transformer into this 4 diode bridge. That indeed is 4 diodes in a bridge. And the DC is coming out, and I'm just feeding it back into the capacitors and the way it should go. So that's that. I'm tapping off the plate here on the tubes, little yellow clip there on that terminal on the broadband coil. So that's about 570 volts. I don't think I'm going through a choke. The choke for that was in the middle here, and I'm not going to bother putting that choke back in. That'll reduce the voltage, so I'm going to leave it like that. And I suppose it'll work. So the next difficulty will be getting the 340 volts working, and for that I'm going to put a couple of transformers in right here and neglect using this transformer, which in the schematic they were using the center tap for the other DC voltage, and that was, I guess, a cheap way to do it, but it would make the 340 volt supply, I suppose, dependent on the 600 volt supply, as they're both one supply actually. So gonna put in some new transformers when they come. A 240 volt transformer, 250 volt, that'll get me up to about 340 volts with a bridge. So that is the story here, and that AC voltage through a bridge and diodes, you'll get about 570 volts. Basically, you can take this 570 times .71, and you'll arrive pretty close to this AC voltage. So pretty much the AC voltage, what would that be, divided by .71 perhaps? My math is not that great, but that would, I think, bring you up to the DC voltage. So I just found a formula where you take the DC voltage times .71, and you pretty much get the AC voltage required. And I found that this works not empirically, but it works actually, because this is the actual experiment proving that it works through a bridge diode. So I'm really happy with the result. So now it's time to wire in this bridge diode permanently. I already have a diode network that goes into this little socket in here. I just got to wire it up. Since it works, I'll wire it up permanently and call it a day with the high voltage for the final tubes. The next stage will be to wire in some transformers, which I'm going to mount where the capacitors were, or where the tubes were, put in some transformers, and get about 240 volts out of those guys, and then give this thing 340 volts. And I think that would resolve this thing as far as it will have close to 600 volts for transmitting. It will have its 340 volts for the rest of the tubes in here for their plate voltages, and that should resolve it. I think I broke it though. when I was fixing the short under this metal strip thing here, this Z thing, I think I broke something else fixing that short. So I still got to figure out why it won't transmit anymore. But I really can't do that until the voltages are all correct. So then that'll be the third problem to figure out. And once that's all done, we'll see if it works. So haven't forgotten about this thing. I just need transformers for it, and I guess I can get this part going to get the 600 volts or so into this thing and see. I think the schematic called for 700 volts for the 200V. I don't recall though. I think it was higher than 600 volts, so this might be on the low side. It might curtail the output a bit, but I guess I'll give it a shot. It's all I got, so try it out. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a great day.